Okay, let's start by looking at the four fundamental trigonometric functions beyond sine and cosine. Each has its own distinct shape, behavior, and specific rules for its domain and range. Tangent and cotangent. The tangent function. Think of a tangent as a series of repeating upward climbing curves from left to right, because tan is equals to sine over cos. So whenever the denominator cos equals 0, the graph breaks. This creates vertical walls, asymptotes, at odd multiples of pi over 2, like negative pi over 2, pi over 2, 3 pi over 2. The distance before the patterns repeat is exactly pi. Now moving on of cotangent. Cotangent is the reciprocal of tangent, so it goes in the opposite direction, curving downward from left to right. Since cotangent is equal to cos over sine, its asymptotes happen whenever sine is equals 0, which means whole numbers of pi, like negative pi, 0, and pi. Just like tangents, its period is pi. Now moving on of the secant. What next? Okay, secant. Secant function is the reciprocal of cosine, because we all know that cosine is wherever cosine hits its peak at only 1 or value at negative 1, secant touches it and curves outward into a series of U-shapes and inverted U-shapes. So each shares asymptotes with tangent wherever cos is equals to 0. At odd multiples of pi over 2, its full pattern takes 2 pi to repeat. Now moving on of the cosecant function. Cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. It behaves just like secant, but it anchors onto the peaks and valleys of the sine wave instead. Because of this, its asymptotes match cotangents occurring at a whole number of pi, like 0, pi, 2 pi, and its period is also 2 pi. Now, if we understand the transformation of its formula when we change the basic equation into the standard transformation form like this, ito na siyang isolve dito sa ito ang PowerPoint. So, the transformation of the formula is F so we know that A try B C plus D. This is our formula. Each letters act as a specific dial that alters the graph. Ito na ka-importante ang graph. So, example, letter A. Letter A. Ang letter A, vertical dilations. None of these graphs have a maximum or minimum height, so they don't have an amplitude. Instead, it stretches or compresses the graph vertically. If A is a negative, it flips the graphs upside. If it's positive, then downward. No? So, moving on of B, and so we have a B. This tells us how the fast graphs repeats. For tangent and cotangents, the new period is calculated using period pi over B. So, ano siya? Pi over B na siya ang diri sa tangent na ito. Sabi na siya na for secant and cosecants, the new period is calculated using sa cosecant na siya using using 2 pi over B. This is for our secant and cosecant. Okay, take note about this. The tangent is only half 1 pi over b. This is a tangent, and this is a cosecant and secant. And this is tangent. Grabe na siya. Dapat i-take note na nato. And letter C. Moving on sa letter C. Asa naman ito na-confirm na okay. Moving on sa letter C. C, this moves the entire graph from left to right. If it says x is equals to 0, ito C, we shift to the right. If it says positive na siya, we shift to the left. So, ina na siya ka-importante ang letter C sa formula. And this letter D ang pinakalasa natin na D. This moves the entire graphs up or down. It shapes the center line of your graph. Now, how do we graph? To the graphing, how to graph tangent and cotangents. This is very commonly asked by the students. So, we need to sketch a transformed tangent or cotangent graph on an empty axis. Use these 5 steps checklist to keep things perfectly aligned. Now, first we have mark period on the x-axis. Jadi sesuatu. Mark period on the x-axis. So, to calculate your new period using pi over b. So, and mark outlet distance to your scale mo na kayo para importante yan siya. So, the second is the mark the vertical shift. Ano siya? Mark the vertical shift. So, by doing so, draw a dashes horizontal line at y to serve as your new baseline or middle axis. Now, the third one is we have mark asymptotes. Mark asymptotes in the midline or at period. So, to find where your vertical bolts belong based on the period and phase shift and sketch them as a vertical dash lines. Yan na si ka. Importante. Now for the fourth one is mark zeros in the middles of asymptotes. Exactly halfway between any 2 points or 2 asymptotes, place a points on your new baseline. This is where the graph crosses the center. Okay? Keep that in mind. So the fifth one is put dilations in the middle of zeros and asymptotes. Go halfway between a center point and an asymptote. Move up or down by the value of A to plot your guide points, then sketch the smooth curve through them. So, simple. So, today, ato na siyang i-analyze, like mag-connect problems. Okay. Let's look at how we break down the specific example equation from the worksheet. Number 1. So we have an y is equal tan 2x minus 2. So the baseline is A. So vertical shift. So alis siya. Ang ato ang yung baseline. Muna siya nga. Kanang kuhaan kayo siya na improvement siya. The baseline is the entire graph moves down 2 units. So 2 units na siya. Muna siya. Dili kay since usaraman so we know that ang tan is always 1. So butang to diri o negative 3 ato na siya i-add na minus 1. Pwede siya kaya ato siya minus dito na 2 plus 1 equals 3 nga 2 minus 1 is ay balik 1 minus 2 basta minus na siya na so then na siya. So the B value is 2. So muna ito ang B value is 2. So we all know that the tan has only one period. So gagana na ito. So mana na siya. So we get an answer of pi over 2. This curves repeat twice as much as normal. So it's tangent graph, so it will climb from left to right. Yeah, left to right. Oh, left to right. Nandiyan. Nani ang ito ang graph crossing the center at negative 2. So yun is here. Now, if we using our calculator, if ato ano siyang i-minus to pi over 2 minus pi over 2 is we have an answer of 0. Yeah. If we convert natin siya, we have an answer of negative pi over 2. So, arin na ta magbutang o ka ng bagis ito nga. Kaya ito na siya, ano, you can add or subtract it. So, ako lang kaya, ako siya ang i-subtract. No? So, its graph is kanang mo-climb ta from left to right. So, left ta yung center. Left to right. So, alam ko na siya na left to right. So, if inani ang iyang graph, so the other should be the same. Magbutang sa dito. Inana sa na ang graphing. So, crossing the center point at para siya sa negative 2. So, that's how we solve number 1. Now, moving on to number 2. That's number 2. Since we all know that natin ka ng so 2 cotangent is equal x, so cotangent x minus pi over 2. So the shift, so look at the shift, it has a horizontal phase shift of pi over 2 to the right. So ang atong bato niya, ato na siyang isolve na siya. To know the answer is ato na siyang i-transpose. So we get a positive pi over 2. So ano niya siya sa mga natong x, positive pi over 2. Siya pa doon. By doing so, the shape, it is a cotangent graph, so it curves downward from left to right. So the A value is 2. So meaning, tura. Iyang value is 2. So ito, 2. May nakabutang dito pa ako na 2, and negative 2. Muna siya ang iyang value of A, which is known as asymptotes kanang amplitude, meaning the curve will look taller and stiffer as if it leaves the center line. Since maungi hapon siya, pi over 2, at saying subtract, pwede siya subtract na noon ka na. Subtract is we had after the same answer of 9. Pwede siya na ito, 0 lang siya na 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why am I counting? Char. Ano niya siya ang center. Ay, wala makakabutang center. So, kadang ito nga lesis ito itong wala man sige butang. Ano na siya? Ano siya niya ang center yung ariman. Ang iyang basta contagion ka niya at ang buhat ng anak is downward from left to right. Ching isa ching. Ang points ito nga, points ari. Ano siya? this is our ato ang cotangent pa siya answer sa number 2. Now moving on sa number 3. Okay, let's solve first. Now this is built on a sine wave because the negative sign in front of 2 in front is 2, so negative sign man siya, meaning arita negative 2. The entire graph is reflected vertically. So instead of a standard cosecant graph, the U-shapes open downward at the positive peaks of sines, and the inverted U-shapes open upward at the negative valley. The peaks and the valley are stretched out to from the x-axis. So ato na siyang isolve. Since we have an answer din nga, kaya para ba nga ang cosecant is known as sine. Cosecant is we have 2 pi. 2 pi naman dyan na siya. Wala mo lang wala'y sulod ng x sa 2 pi. Then 2 pi, so we have 2 pi minus 2 is pi. Since it is negative, sorry ko dali mag-una ta din sa chin pudili nato na siya suwatan hato lang siya ano suwatan o sa may pag-color ay may lising na color chin walang siya. Then kung asa niya ang midline niya, dili na ito butangan o asymptotes midline niya, which is nga ni kuan sa kani ba na points mo ni sa itong butangan o kanina ni kay mo ni siya very important ni siya. So look at the picture is we need to graph like this. Kung asa na si dapita na arita mag graph o U shapes, so ari nihait ano siya. Siya atubang sa upos na ari po ni siya atubang sa babaw na diri kay wala naman, so mo ni siya ang graph sa cosecant. Now moving on sa number 4. So we have equation of y is equal to secant 3x plus 1. So the first step is to find the baseline. So ang baseline ani is shifted up to 1. So we know nga ari ni siya shifted 1 ni siya. Since sec man ni siya, so di uno nga 1 is diri, so magpuno ta og 2 then minus 0 ni siya. Siya na ito. And then we all know that secant has also 2 pi then pi diri kay sami siya pi times 2 pi over 2 is we have an answer of 3 pi over 2, and this is pi over 2 as well. Now we all know that secant siya, so the b value is 3, making the new period is 2 pi over 3. Kung ito na siya ipagawas kaya ang period na nira pa period na since 2 pi man siya niya 3 man siya, so dili naman na pwede, so ito na siya so ang ito ang kuan is 2 pi, so the U shape repeats 3 times as often over a standard interval. So the curves the curves, the basis of the U shape are exactly unit above. Kung ano sect is the reciprocal of cos. So ari ta maguna sa babaw color mo po dapat ang secant kay naa siya 2 cycle na kasi po na since mga midline na to, mga midline. Kalita magbutang o asymptotes. Chuk 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 chuk. And ang ato ang graph is ini siya. Kanina height graph ni siya. Kanina siya graph. Since putol man siya, so putol na po na to ang graph. Pero if ato ano siyang ipadayon, imagine na is ina na gihapon ni siya, no? Yan ni siya. Muna siya. If nagpadayon tayo, ano na siya. No? Ayan. So that is how we graph the 4 important parts of trigonometric function. Goodbye.